All right, welcome back. So we got a quote from Epictetus today. I actually looked. I don't believe I had this quote ever before, um, which is kind of surprising because it's a really good quote. But it's from Epictetus. He says, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." And it's top of mind today because I was having a conversation with my wife today. We were thinking about some different peers in our kind of network, different people who are in a similar stage of life to us, being married for at least a few years, at least have a couple kids, kind of in a similar season of life. And we really see across the board more often than not, um, peers focusing on different things than us. And as we're really focused on building a business and kind of our whole life is kind of ordered around this, that just becomes more and more clear that other people are choosing to live their life in a way that we would not prefer. That's Alex Hormozy says that. And that it really becomes more and more apparent to us that, these other peers seem to be trying to stack up great possessions, thinking that that is how wealth is created. And my wife and I, we've really tried to be intentional about living pretty minimally, having few wants, and um, I think it's worked out quite well for us. Um, and I know I'm sure there's lots to still left on the journey of that, but it was a good reflection that we had a great conversation today. So this quote is top of mind, and I hope it serves you well too. I believe, yeah, I forgot to update that. Sorry. This is day 74 of the agency Speedrun. Man, we're gonna go over YouTube comment Q&A. Twisted Toss. Lincoln, you had a web design agency in the past. I want to know that. How did you get clients in that? Like, what outreach methods, process did you use in that? Big question. Why did you leave that? Good question. Yeah. Where do I start? Basically, I started out just building websites. This was like close to 2 years ago. I want to say, I don't even remember. But I started out just building websites. And once I did that, I realized, oh, wow, for local businesses, having a nice looking website doesn't even really matter nearly as much as ranking top on Google SEO. And so I kind of went down the whole SEO rabbit hole and had to, yeah, spent way too much time and like buried myself in the weeds trying to be the best at local SEO. And then the dumb part is I was trying to deliver like and figure out like the absolute best local SEO strategies and everything, but then I was like charging beginner pricing. And beginner pricing deserves beginner free. And I was trying to charge beginner pricing, but at the same time investing all this time and like energy and like obsession trying to deliver, professional, world class, like top tier level SEO, and like obsessing about like making sure there's like zero spammy links built, like getting like full, you know, full value for the customer, for my client, like really like investing a lot of like almost like emotionally investing in each client, like making sure that they get ranked and like all this stuff. And ultimately, the I failed to continue outreach and like juggling all the different hats and all that. And so I got that agency up to about 5K per month, and then I hired a couple VAs to help with link building and a VA to help with web design, and I was just kind of spread too thin, and I shut off my lead generation efforts, which were working decently actually. And kind of since then, kind of like sporadic lead generation here or there, kind of relying on like word of mouth and referrals, which have kept me busy, but like kind of comfortable. Um, and I thought, and then kind of like was like, okay, like let's actually like grow this thing. And I thought that my issue was that I never like niched down properly, that I was just serving kind of any home or any local business. Um, I don't think that's the case anymore. At the start of this kind of agency Speedrun, that's was the position I thought was like, oh, I never niched down properly. And so I'm gonna redo the agency, niche down specifically for plumbers, and that's what's gonna like lead to the great success that I want. And um, ultimately, that's not true. Ultimately, it's I didn't have a consistent way to get leads, nor nurture them, nor close them, and I was not consistent with my outreach and all the other lead generation methods. And I know now that I could have made the previous agents. I say previous, it's still like I didn't shut down the business. Like it's still active. Like I still have clients. I still I built websites. I still host the websites. I still have people reaching back, hey, like I want to do a little more SEO this coming summer. So there's like a few jobs in the pipeline of like from previous clients who reached back out to me recently and are like, hey, let's, turn things back up for the spring. And it's like, great, let's do it. Um, yeah, I don't know where I'm going with this, but the short end of the stick, or the short version of the story, sorry, is that why did I leave that? Is that I thought I was not getting the success I sought, I wanted, because the offer, or the, which maybe is true, but was mostly because I was just serving everyone, just kind of a generic, I service all local businesses, and I didn't niche down, and that was the main reason. But I don't think that's the case anymore. I think it's I just didn't do outreach properly, consistently. And then for outreach methods, I did a combination of cold calling, cold emailing with warm calling after they were interested, um, cold looms, and that is pretty much it. Um, I tried a bunch of different things. What got me most of the clients for that agency previously was a crazy good like intro attraction offer, um, with a really easy call to action in my cold emails to kind of get them to reply and engage. And then I'd cold or like warm call them as soon as they engaged. And that worked really well. But that was over a year ago. Um, yeah, hope that kind of answered your question. And yeah, I it's not something that is fully formed, and I part of me regrets kind of starting a new agency. Should I have just like been consistent with the previous agency and not tried to like niche down and just change my whole agency and everything just to target plumbers? I don't know. But that's where we're at now. We're gonna go over the input tracker for yesterday. So I've been traveling. I just got back earlier today, but it was traveling this weekend, so I was kind of out of town. So yeah, didn't do any work over the weekend basically, which is totally fine. I like to really recharge over the weekend, and then same with today, Sunday. Basically did nothing, which is great. Next week is full week, lots of things planned, lots of things to do, lots of things to fulfill. It's gonna be a full week. But I am going to leave it there, and I will catch you guys next time.